From Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Ma, Ralph Lauren and Oprah Winfrey, some of the most successful people that we hear of today have had their fair share of struggles. Whether it's dealing with poverty to broken homes and failed businesses, these people have proven time and time again that impossible is nothing. Today, we will be examining the story of Amancio Ortega, a Spanish fashion entrepreneur who went from dirt poor to becoming Spain's richest man. Let's get it on. Born on March 28, 1936, Amancio Ortega Gaona was the youngest of 4 other children. He was born during the Civil War in Spain in the small village Bustongo d'Arbas. His village had less than 100 citizens and was located in the northern Spanish region León. Amancio's family was extremely poor, surviving on his father's job at the local railway station. They lived in a beggarly house at the railway workers' quarters, and his mother had to work as a housemaid. Little Amancio saw his mother plead for credit at local stores several times because they were unable to afford essential items. Things got so hard that he had to leave school and start working at the age of 14. Tough luck, right? His first job was a shop assistant at a local company called Gala, where he learned to make clothes by hand. Apart from working hard as a teenager, Amancio enjoyed riding his bicycle around the town whenever he had free time. Legend has it that it was during one of such rides that he came up with his brilliant business idea. He understood early that to make good money, one must give customers what they want. By age 16, Amancio was already pondering on how to figure out the desires of potential customers, and even more important, how to meet their demand. A perfect opportunity presented itself in the 1950s, or rather, Amancio created an opportunity to experiment his idea in Galicia, an autonomous community of Spain. A combination of poor job alternatives and numerous single women who could sew very well was just what the youngster needed. He started to organize women into sewing cooperatives, and the product line included lingerie, babywear, and nightgowns. Ex-employees of the sewing cooperative praised Amancio's great job conditions and how close he was to the workers. In case you haven't noticed, we've already dropped 2 very important business lessons from the story of Ortega. First, wealth is created by solving human needs or wants, and second, employees are bound to give their best when they're treated right. Any product or service that doesn't have a direct impact on the desires of customers will not sell. In 1963, after gaining about 10 years of experience managing sewing cooperatives, Amancio founded his first company, Confecciones GAO, his initials if read backward. With the help of a low-cost local workforce from his successful sewing cooperative, Ortega was able to offer fast production clothing turnarounds. Amancio turned the business into a family company. While he was responsible for developing new fashion trends, his brother Antonio handled commercial issues, and his sister, Josefa, was responsible for bookkeeping. Rosalia Mera, who later became his wife in 1966, acted as his business partner. With several factories being acquired in Spain, Amancio opened his first storefront in La Coruña, downtown, in 1975. The store was named Zobra after his first wife's favorite movie. Not too long though, the name was changed to the popular Zara of today. The reason being that a nearby bar was also named Zorba, and its owner complained. Within the next 15 years, Zara stores expanded to several Spanish cities. In 1988, just after forming the Inditex group, Ortega opened the first Zara shop in Portugal. Apparently, he found the working force in Portugal to be cheaper than in Spain. In 1989, the store was opened in the US, and another was introduced in London in 1998. Talk about steady growth. In the 1990s, the brand pushed for international expansion, which came with Inditex's retail portfolio development, Pull & Bear and Massimo Dutti in 1991, Stradivarius in 1994, Bershka in 1998, and Oysho in 2000. By 2000, the Inditex brands were distributed in over 30 international markets. The business success of Amancio is tightly connected with his unique business model of becoming a fast fashion retailer. His core business principles involved giving customers what they wanted and as fast as possible. For example, Zara is known for its 12,000 new designs developed and distributed annually. Furthermore, the brand refreshes its garment stock twice a week. Zara's efficiency is the product of a golden rule, which Amancio imposed back in the 1970s. Going by his rule, new orders are to be received within a 48-hour time period. From the outside, Zara factories looked like a well-oiled machine, where hundreds of designers and sales analysts work together in an open-space floor. Designers usually create 3 models a day, while analysts, working together with pattern makers, choose an item from each set. Afterwards, commercial experts apply reports from local managers to compile appropriate-to-customer habits collections. Can you see, once again, that the brand is built around customer needs and wants? Each employee of Zara is trained to keep an eye on clients' styles, requests, and selling trends. The idea of giving customers what they want and at a motorway speed have helped Amancio in building a sustainable fashion empire. Today, the Inditex Corporation has become a global fast fashion retailer with more than 170,000 professionals in over 7,200 stores and facilities. Another unique strategy that Zara employs is that the company never reproduces its hits. This is to save their customers from identically dressed fashion twins. Instead, they modify and offer varied versions of their hits. Talking about running a very fluid system, loyal Inditex customers know the best days to purchase items from new collections. For Zara, new clothing deliveries happen on Sundays and Thursdays, whereas shoes come on Tuesdays and Fridays. Other brands in the Inditex group also have their own delivery days. Famous Zara clients include Queen Letizia of Spain, Michelle Obama, the Duchess of Cambridge, Mary Berry, Alexa Chung, and Olivia Palermo, amongst others. The brand got so popular to the point that famous fashion blogger Garance Dorr coined out a term, Zaragasm, which means being seduced by the variety of choices from Zara. Because of the brand's unique model and a very efficient system, very few companies were able to compete with Inditex. While you may be tempted to think that Amancio's wealth is derived only from his fashion brands, his business portfolio includes additional investments in gas, banks, tourism, and worldwide real estate holdings. According to financial magazines, the entrepreneur's success in fashion allowed him to become the owner of several real estate properties in London, Paris, Madrid, Miami, and Lisbon. And being a prime property owner, he often rents his properties to his Zara stores, correspondingly performing as his fashion business's landlord. By 2011, for example, while bidding with Tishman Speyer, the owner of London's Tower Place, Rockefeller Center, and the Chrysler Building, Amancio won the bid for a 43-floor Picasso Tower. His $556 million offer was accepted. In 2014, he purchased an additional $60 million stake in Barcelona's prime real estate, after a $105 million earlier investment. This hosted the Apple flagship store. Between December 2013 and March 2014, Amancio invested around $1 billion in real estate. His real estate empire is valued at around $10 billion. Apart from his interest in business, Amancio also invests in charity. This may be due to his humble background. Together with his first wife, Rosalia Mera, they founded the Paideia Foundation in 1986. The foundation assists individuals with mental and physical disabilities in getting interdisciplinary education and training. The philanthropic foundation has received many awards since its inception. Later in 2001, Amancio founded another non-profit organization called Fundación Amancio Ortega. Today, the billionaire is worth almost $66 billion, making him the 12th richest person on Earth. In addition to some of the points I made earlier about the business life of Amancio Ortega, here are 4 very important lessons I think every business person should know. 1. Speed is everything. Nobody likes wasting time, at least not me. I could travel a longer route just to beat a traffic jam. It doesn't matter how much fuel the car consumes. As long as I am not stuck in a spot, I'm totally fine. More than ever, we live in a fast-paced world. People want things right now, and if you can't meet up with the speed of demand, your competitors may knock you out. When Ortega started Zara in 1975, he disrupted the retail world with his aggressive schedule, meant to get new clothes on the rack faster than anyone else in the market. It was dubbed fast fashion, and Zara had to refresh its stock twice a week. This speed became a major sore point for his competitors. According to Business Insider, while other department stores may take months before showcasing a dress modeled during Fashion Week, Zara took only a few weeks. Now, I must also add that speed doesn't mean lower quality. Look through your operations and you'd be surprised to find several redundant processes. It could be in how fast an employee responds to mails, the amount of time spent in weekly meetings, or something as mundane as office arrangement. 2. Be obsessive over what your customers want. I just have to repeat this point. Without customers, your company wouldn't exist in the first place, so you should be obsessed with them. In his 2009 Inditex annual report, Ortega wrote, "The customer has always driven the business model." In the 2010 annual report, just before stepping down from his position as chairman in 2012, he reiterated the point. He wrote, "The customer must continue to be our main center of attention, both in the creation of our fashion collections and in the design of our shops, of our logistical system, and of any other activity." You may not know this, but Ortega doesn't always base his inventory on fashion shows. Instead, his company tracks bloggers and listens to customers instead. He could see a biker in traffic who's wearing a handmade jean jacket, and the next moment, he is describing what he saw to his designers to have it in the next Zara collection. 3. Never stop innovating. Failing to innovate is like digging an early grave, because sooner or later, your business will die. Speaking to a group of business professors in 2007, Ortega said, "Success is never guaranteed. Complacency is the worst. I never allow myself to be content with what I have done. And I have always tried to instill this in everyone around me." The moment you get comfortable with what you've achieved, you'll be surprised to see a competitor who will surpass you. 4. Build a solid team. Right from the days of managing sewing cooperatives, Ortega has stayed true to his roots. Some news sites report that he has never had an office and sits at a desk at Inditex's headquarters in his hometown of La Coruna. He loves working around all his employees, and even at 80 years, he still goes to the office most days. So there you have it. This is the story of Amancio Ortega, a boy who went from being a high school dropout to becoming a billionaire.